Welcome, everyone. So I wanted to cover the Sparks versus the Sky, the third of four upsets for the day. The Sparks are 4-10, and the Sky was 3, and I guess they were 9 at the time. But I wanted to speak on something else, not basketball related, but just something. Yesterday Bobby Sherman died, and he was, for women, mostly women my age, he was in Tiger Beat with David Cassidy and all this stuff. And, it was something that, I always liked Bobby Sherman. He was a cutie patootie. I mean, for sure. I mean, you look at a picture of him when he was young, and even young women now, or of any age, can see he was a very good looking man. And, when I was young, you didn't have Google. And so you didn't know how other people felt. And, I just wanted to say that I was on Facebook yesterday, and my sister had texted me letting me know that he had passed away. And she was all into David Cassidy. Anyway, it was just nice to see the tributes all over Facebook for him. Because at the time, I didn't realize that, I was the only one that felt that way. And it's just nice to see. Anyway, just a little tidbit. If you're 62 like me, and that was it. You had 3 channels, and you had Tiger Beat magazine. Anyway, so on to the Sparks and the Sky. The Sky upset the Sparks, who were leading for most of the game. And the Sparks just went really cold in the fourth quarter. They ended up scoring 17 points, and the Sky scored 30 in the fourth quarter, but they were winning for most of the game. And they were forcing things, and then and I'm not saying that the Sky didn't win. They certainly performed, and they won. But the Sparks they went really cold in the fourth. And so both things combined gave the Sky the win. I mean, they scored 97 points. That's a lot of points. It's a lot of points. And Camilla Cardoso had her career high, 27 points. Congratulations, Camilla. Very nice. She's playing better and better, but there's one thing she's doing that, she's making really nice cuts to the basket, but she needs to take like a half a second. Because sometimes she'll just get it and throw it up there. And it looks thrown up there. Maybe that's not what's happening, but that's what it looks like. And today it went in a lot. She was 10 for 15 from the floor. And she even got a 3, her first 3. Congratulations. There was a point in the game where I think it was Kelsey Plum had taken a shot, and she was in the key, and she kind of reached out to block the shot. And she's so polite that she was just like, oh, sorry, honey. I mean, I don't know what she said, but it seemed like that. She was like, oh, sorry, honey. She didn't even touch her, but she just kind of checked on her, hey, you okay, kind of thing. But that's nice. She has a smile on her face all the time. She's playing well. But she's got to take that, it's like when you get to the pros, the game is sped up for some rookies, and it seems a little sped up for her. She's getting better at it, but she'll make an outlet pass, and if she had just taken a second, she could see the defender was there, and they intercept it, and she would avoid that happening. So, but overall, really good. She's definitely improving, and she's making great cuts to the basket. I mean, I don't know if they redesigned the offense to give her those cuts. But how are you going to stop that? I mean, she's against 6'6" Azari Stevens, who's a very good defender, and she's, she's a equal defender. It's not like she's shooting over someone smaller. I mean, there's an inch between them, but that doesn't make any big difference. So, but great game, Camilla Cardoso. Just take the half second. Just take the half second. You don't have to speed everything up. And, she'll be really a force to be reckoned with, because she's got great athleticism for 6'7". And, she runs the floor and just that little bit. Anyway, so let's see what the Sparks, I mean, they were really good in the first 3 quarters. They were really good. Jackson had 11 points. De'Erica Hamber had 15. She had 7 rebounds. Stevens had 21. Good game for Stevens. She had 4 3-pointers. She was 8 for 11 from the floor. But most of this came in the first 3 quarters. It's like they just started, like, as Chicago started to catch up, it looked like they were starting to force stuff, especially Plum. I like Kelsey Plum, but boy, she's been forcing stuff. And I don't know if you've caught a video of when I've covered her before, like early on in the season. When she starts missing, she was 0 for 6 from 3. You know what she's doing? She's pushing instead of up when she's shooting. And this was a perfect display of that. And I hope her coaches are, pointing that out to her, because she would do that in Vegas and you could see it whenever she would go cold. And she's like throwing it at the hoop instead of just a nice jump shot up. So, yeah, she was 6 for 7, and then she doesn't hit. So, I mean, as a pro would, she drives to the hoop, gets fouls, goes to the foul line. She was 8 for 8 from the foul line. Yeah, and you don't want to foul her because she's a really good free throw shooter. Let's see what else here. Second chance points, Chicago had 28-9. Points in the paint, 52-44. That's pretty close. Let's see. But, the Sparks had a 14-point lead. And then that was for most of the game, and you thought, here's another loss for Chicago. But, okay, so that was pretty much their scoring. Shea Petty had 7. Barker had 5. Mercedes Russell had a basket, and then Emma Cannon had 5. She had a 3-point and a... but they've got 4 people out. 4 people. So they're playing, and that's going to wear these players out. You're playing with 9. 9 people played, and one of those, King, only had 4 minutes. So, Jackson played 36 minutes, Plum played 35. That's going to start wearing on them. They've got to start subbing some people in. So, on to the Sky. They had Rachel Bannon play point guard, which I don't recall ever seeing her play point guard, but she did well. She's a pro, and she's an awesome 3-point shot. So, having her there, it's calming, just nice and calm and just very steady. So Rebecca Allen had 7 points. She had some good moments. She had some very good moments. Got in a little tussle with, Jackson. But they broke that up pretty quickly. You just, when you're trying to box out, arms go flying and, you're bumping each other, and it happens. So Angel Reese, 18 points, 17 rebounds. She certainly is. She has a knack for rebounding. She's like Dennis Rodman, in the Bulls' old days. She was, he could just... I saw an interview with, I don't know who it was. I think it was Isaiah Thomas. When Rodman, before he went to the Bulls, he was with the Pistons. And Isaiah Thomas was saying, "Oh, come on, join the layup line." And Rodman's like, no. And he's just watching. And so, Isaiah Thomas is thinking, "What are you doing, dude? You're weird." And so then he finally speaks, and he says, "I'm counting." And he's like, "What are you counting?" And he goes, "The rotation of the ball." And that's how he would determine where to go for the rebounds. I thought that was a really cool thing. That I happened to catch that somewhere. I don't know where I saw it. But, Angel Reese has a knack for rebounding. That's for darn sure. But still, the shoulders. She's got to build up the shoulders on that putback. She misses too many on the putback. But she'll get it. It's her second year. She'll get it. Because she was 6 for 12, and most of those are right, little bunnies. But someone needs to get her on the military press. If you don't know what the military press is, look it up. That's an old school thing. Back when we used to have weight machines and just, get her shoulder stronger to go straight up with the ball instead of this wing around thing. So, okay, Ariel Atkins, 13 points. She had a great play in this game. And it was, it didn't really have much impact on the game. But she had a play. I don't remember how it was right around midcourt. or like top of the key on the other side of the court. And she ended up getting possession of the ball, and she was leaning forward, and there were 3 or 4, well, probably 3, Sparks players trying to get the ball from her, and she was like doing a weave in and out, and she kept her balance. It was a great display of body control. If you want to look at it, it was right before halftime, I believe, and just a great display. And she kept her balance, dribbled down the court, and I'm pretty sure, I don't remember completely, but then she passed it off in Chicago. It was one of Chicago's baskets. But it was just a great display of body control. Just, she was going, full bore, and she's weaving and all sorts of stuff. And just, it was impressive to me. I mean, just that kind of body control was really impressive. Anyway, so let's see what else we got here. Bantam had 8 points, 4 assists. Keita Nurse 8 points. Haley Van Lith had 6. She's been coming in and doing a nice job. She's dribbling too much, though. She's got to, get the ball, get to the pass, get yourself set up for the pass and pass it. Pass. It's better to pass than dribble. I mean, you have to drive to the hoop, but, sometimes some of these players, Kelsey Plum's dribbling too much, too. So, Williams had 6 points. She came in 14 minutes. Her and Cardoso were flipping back and forth. Michaela Olienwene, I can't say that right. I know that's not exactly right. She had 4 points. And then Jefferson came in for a little bit. I think they're going to start weaning her in because she's been out injured. But overall, it was a competitive game. And a nice victory for the Sky. Congratulations. They've been getting close. If you watch my last video, I was talking about how the Sky are close, but they're missing something. Well, today they pulled it out. So, good for them. And the Sparks, I don't understand. They have a lot of talent. And they should not be 4. So, what are they now? 4-11. So, they're 4-11. Chicago's 4-11. The Sparks should be better than their record. I'm not sure what's going on there. I haven't quite figured that out. I think it's just they're missing shots when they need to make them. So, because they certainly have talented people on that team. So, anyway, we'll see you next time.